and welcome back. We are back here at Buffalo Wild Wings Christiana location for DLS Weekly. Nick Alessandrini alongside Glenn Frazier, Benny Mitchell, and Jason Winchell. We've got an action-packed show in our return here tonight. We are going to be joined by the two teams behind us, the Archmere Volleyball team, as well as the Mount Pleasant Green Knights ahead of their matchup Saturday morning. There you have it, they're here. We are in full force. All season we go. Guys, we had some fantastic matchups last week. We had the luxury of broadcasting 5 of those games. Great games across the board. We got some new Super 7 rankings to debut tonight. We'll talk about Class A, 2A, and 3A, as well as some players of the week we're going to recognize as well. So a lot to get into here in our first week back. Technically second week back, Benny, with the great preview show last week. Our first week back at Buffalo Wild Wings. So let's dive right in, guys. I mentioned it. 5 football games last week. It all started Thursday night, Benny. Sussex Tech and Laurel. What a matchup that was to kick us off for week 0.
Well, first of all, let's thank our fans. Over 25,000 views on those 5 games. So thanks to our fans for checking us out and seeing what we had going on. It didn't start Thursday night. It started Wednesday night in the parking lot of Sussex Tech with the tailgate. Both teams showed up, had a great time, little cornhole going on, little tailgate, and I thought the coaches brought some well-spoken players to the show, and then it kicked off Thursday night. Typical, same as last year, tight game going into the half, 10-7 at the half. I think the difference, Glenn did the game with me, the difference in the game was the early cramps in the third quarter of Sussex Tech. They lost. Jeremiah Handy, Jaron Sample, and Zion Roach, all in the first series coming back. That was 75% of their starting backfield. Ryan Cooper came in as the backup quarterback, moved the ball a little bit for him. He kind of kept Laurel at bay for a while. I don't think Roach ever came back in the game. Sample made his way back, but at that point, Laurel got the ball back and they just took control in the second half. Caden Sockley over 100 yards as a quarterback, rushing. He had a big pick in the fourth quarter. Kylese Wilson stepped up, and probably after tonight we won't say. Talk about the Laurel team from last year. Kylese Wilson, he showed up. We won't say Javier White again. the 3 All-State star last year. Kylese Wilson with a touchdown, an 80-yard punt return called back, another long punt return called back. I mean, he probably had 3 times the yardage we gave him credit for. He had a heck of a game. Young man by the name of Xavier Limehouse showed up for Laurel, just a junior. Showed up last year. He was a big defensive player for him. He had the first touchdown of the game on Thursday night, and he got quite a few touches. Patrick Bell, he got the grunt yards as he does for Laurel, and that Laurel defense plan, when they were needed, they got it done.
Yeah, Laurel just controlled that thing in the second half, Benny. Cramps aside, I mean, they were going to win the game, but that really helped their cause. And props go out to the Sussex Tech student body and their marching band. Great atmosphere. The place was packed. Laurel's band, the numbers were up from last year. They did a great job, too. And that takes us right into the Friday night game that we did at Dover High. At Dover and Arundel. And Dover definitely has big play capabilities this year. John Parker was a super freshman last year. Well, he scored 3 plays into the game on a 70-yard screen pass to put Dover up early, but the Arundel Wildcats came right back. Their quarterback was outstanding. Gavin Camachi, and by the way, they'll play Smyrna this Friday night. He completed 23 of 34 passes for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. They controlled the ball, they controlled the clock, 66 plays to 33 plays. Dover has the big play capability because also Parker, who scored on the screen, scored on an 80-yard kickoff return, and the quarterback, Nasheem Cosme, scored on a 42-yard run. And that was most of their offense. As they, I think, kind of got tired late in the game because one thing Arundel did was they ran a lot of no-huddle, up-tempo in the second half, and that really tired the Dover kids out. So I'll be interesting to see how Dover rebounds this week as they take on a Hodson Votech squad that looked really good against Caesar Rodney. That was the Friday night game.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one to look forward to. We'll dive into some of these matchups as well. But Jason and I, we had a game of our own on Friday night, DMA and Howard. DMA obviously off of that Final Four appearance last year. Down year last year for Howard, but coming off back-to-back state championships the 2 years prior. I had a chance to talk to those guys, and they said this year's a different year. They're heading back to that state championship, and they looked really good from what we were able to see in that game Friday night.
Yeah, their defense was really good, holding that DMA offense to 22 first half total yards. They really stopped the run game, stopped the pass game. They did everything right in that first half and half of the third quarter. Howard looked really good. DMA lost 22 seniors. Their line was really young, so it might take some time for them to gel.
Sophomores, juniors across the board up front.
Yeah. First game, it's out of the way. I still think DMA has the talent to get back there, but if they're young guys are going to have to come together because it doesn't get much easier for them this week.
And also, Jason, another interesting thing, B.J. Aline, who we were so used to seeing accounted for 18 touchdowns for them last season, didn't start the game, came in a few series in, played one series, got banged up, left the game. We never saw him again, so we didn't really get a chance to get that offense in a rhythm with B.J. Aline, their starting quarterback, and eager to see what his status is going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And Howard line controlled that game from start to finish, and there was no room for the running backs to run. You lose a running back like Devin Green, he's hard to replace, and DMA just had no answers on Friday night in the ground game.
And again, that game will be continued at some point in the future. Again, just a shame that had to happen, but a great thing that everybody's okay. We move forward, and they will finish that game at a later time. So again, 5 games last week, and we've got a bunch more. Did I miss any to recap from last week?
We had a Saturday game at William Penn.
So many, I lost track. William Penn and Sussex Central.
Right. And
Glenn,
Central,
tell us a little about that one, you two. Yeah.
Central's wing T offense did what they normally do. They got almost 200 yards on the ground, but good Lord, they put the ball in the air 17 times, Benny. They completed. I talked to Coach Wells after the game when we were leaving. I said, "Hey, what are you doing? Why'd I pass it?" He said, "I had to."
Right.
9 of 17 for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns for quarterback T.J. Morris. P.J. Henry had a big game, 60 yards rushing. He scored a touchdown on the ground. He scored on a 30-yard pass reception. He had 3 scores in the game. A guy to keep an eye on when you do your game this week, wide receiver Jackson, they call him Reef Steen. He had 5 catches for over 50 yards, and he had 2 picks on defense. William Penn's got some young kids. They're starting 2 freshmen at quarterback, so they're alternating between Mark Moore and Bryant Cotman. They have a very fast couple of running backs in Kafion Taylor and Rayon White Taylor. So they're rebuilding. We'll see how they progress during the season. They made the playoffs last year like everybody did in 3A. They're going to really be fighting for that top 8 position this year.
That should be a good one. Benny, you were there as well. What did you see out of the Colonials and the Knights there on Saturday? Or excuse me.
I was in American Corners, Maryland, buddy.
He's everywhere.
I was in Federalsburg, Maryland.
That's right.
Fun little small school game between the Seaford Blue Jays and the Colonel Richardson Colonels. Coach Jackson from Colonel Richardson knew what was coming in. He knew that Seaford wanted to spread the ball and have fun. So he implemented a wedge offense, and he used every second of the clock that he could. I mean, they walked from the huddle to the line. It was a hard game to call, fun game to call, but it was, you set your last play and
like doing a baseball game almost.
Yeah,
right?
It was kind of, exactly. Throw the ball around after an out, But early on it worked. I mean, it was a tight game going into the half. Seaford exposed them in the second half, and listen to this name late in the year in single A football, Jazante Levon, 187 yards. He had a 73-yard touchdown. He had 2 other touchdowns called back in the game. So I mean, he ran a lot. A lot of people had him for over 200 yards. I think they were forgetting how many plays they got called back. A lot of penalties in this game. Something that Seaford needs to clean up. on Avion Matthews, the guy I was looking forward to watching. He did catch 2 touchdown passes from Green Bolden, a guy I didn't even know that existed. Jacob Kleglovitz, another kid, and he runs low to the ground. He can cut back. He can change directions. He scored 2 touchdowns for the Blue Jays in this game. So Seaford, I was expecting a little more. I left thinking that they had some left in the tank, and I think the Colonel Richardson offense that takes a little steam out of you. All that.
That's true, right?
Yeah, you're waiting. It just slows the game down. It's kind of. During one of the breaks, I said, "Man, this game's going like it was a 3-hour game." And between the penalties and the timeouts, and oh my goodness, and it was like dragging a cinder block through sand, getting to the game. That's just that, and that was their intent, to slow things down. And it did. It worked until the fourth quarter. Seaford's got some things to clean up. Like I said, not just they had 3 touchdowns called back on a blindside block and a couple holds. So that's stuff that they're going to have to, as they see the faster defensive ends and the faster linebackers, they're going to have to be careful of that reaching out. But I think they're going to be a top 5 team down the road.
Again, Seaford, a team that may be on people's radar finally this year after not in the past. I know they did make some waves, some headlines this year. I had some few articles about them. We'll see how they respond. Well, they start 1-0, so keep an eye on Seaford this season as well. We are going to take our first break. When we come back, we are going to be joined by the Mount Pleasant Green Knights football team here ahead of their matchup Saturday morning matinee against Lake Forest. We'll be right back here on DLS Weekly.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told.
And welcome back live inside DLS Weekly. Nick Alessandrini. Now I have the luxury of being joined by the Mount Pleasant Green Knights football program. Guys, just want to go around, talk your name, position, grade, and we'll go from there. Coach?
I'm Coach Allen. I'm the associate head coach for Mount Pleasant.
I'm Mason McCabe. I'm linebacker and slot receiver at Mount Pleasant.
I'm Damir Bird, running back and linebacker from Mount Pleasant.
My name is Anthony Sidber. I play wide receiver, and I'm a senior.
My name is Aiden Boston. I play D tackle. I'm a senior.
All right, guys, really appreciate you joining me here Wednesday night. Big matchup on Saturday, primetime matinee against Lake Forest. But We're here at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's our first show of the year, so we're going to start off every interview like we usually do. Favorite or go-to wing sauce when you're here at Buffalo Wild Wings? What is it, Coach? We'll start with you.
So I don't like anything spicy, so I'm a mild guy.
Mild, hey, that's fine. Here we go,
I
Mason.
love spicy. It'd either be spicy garlic or Caribbean jerk.
Okay.
I'll say lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper. Okay, here we go. No duplicates yet.
I had to go with honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue.
And I don't try many new spices, so I'll probably go with mild too.
Okay, so 2 miles, and then some good ones across the board, guys. Well, really appreciate it, Coach. 5-4 last season. Beating Concord and Brandywine, some big wins for you guys there. What's the vibe coming into this year? Able to build off of that 5-4 record? How's it been so far as you head into the season?
We had a lot of energy off of that 5-4 season. A lot of seniors coming back this year. We're really excited for it, and it's been a great camp, great 3 scrimmages, so we just can't wait to get ready to play on Saturday.
Absolutely, and guys, now over to you. How's the vibe been in the locker room with your teammates so far, coming into a new season and getting started here at prime time against Lake Forest?
Man, I know my boys are ready to play both sides of the ball. We're here to come and hit, play hard, honestly.
Absolutely.
It's been good vibes. A lot of seniors on the team now, ready to go.
Guys, feeling
I feel like we've been putting a lot of the necessary work in that we were supposed to be doing, and I feel like we're ready for our next opponent and ready for the upcoming season.
Absolutely, and Coach, you mentioned a little bit about the 5-4 record. Now you're on to this year. You got some upperclassmen here, some leaders. What have you seen from them so far, and what do you expect from them here in 2022?
So these guys, when they came in freshman years, we've always been waiting for this team to be seniors. Out for that 5-4 team, we know that they were the leaders, and now they're coming up, and I'm expecting big things from this team for all the hard work they've been doing and everything that they've been doing for us right now. So we're looking forward to it.
And guys, over you, upperclassmen, I say most of you here now. How does that feel? Is there a little bit of pressure on you guys? You happy to be the seniors, the leaders? How's that going here with you guys in that leadership position?
Honestly, man, it feels good being a leader, showing everyone else how it's done, making sure everyone is leading up, growing to be another senior when we leave, and showing how we play, how Mount's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we trusted the process, and from freshman year to senior year, we did great, came together, and now we're ready for this moment.
And guys, I can keep it going with you. Is there maybe an area for you guys individually maybe that you've been working on in the summer, something that you maybe really improved on or something that you focused on here coming into this upcoming season?
Yeah, for me, it was trying to be more vocal as a leader.
For myself, I just been focused on leading by example and how to carry myself around like younger players that trying to learn and that keep their eyes on me. I just got to hold myself accountable. That's what I've been working on.
Leave a mark for the younger players. Make sure they know what's up for years to come.
That's the goal. You got anything?
I've been trying to help uplift everybody, be positive on the team, carry myself well to help influence the younger players.
And Coach, maybe some guys know everybody's sitting up here, the upperclassmen, but is there maybe some young guys or some other key contributors that aren't here today that maybe you might have to look out for this season or maybe able to make a name for themselves? I'll ask you, then I'll go to your
So we got a couple guys out here right now.
Oh, we got some guys in the house then. Here we go. All right.
Snow, our quarterback, has been a great leader this year. He started last year, coming back this year a lot better, knowing our system, knowing what we need to do. Safety, Missouri Pringle, great kid, started as a junior too at safety, and he's coming back this year. Great leader on the defensive side.
All right, now over to you guys. You heard a couple names there. Is there anybody else that you practice with them every day? You're hitting them every day. Any other guys we might have to be on the lookout for this Saturday?
Hell yeah. My boy over there, new man to the season. Man's ready with the energy, hitting hard. I can't wait to see him in action for these games.
See, there we go, guys. Anybody else? Anything else to say?
I feel like as a unit, we're a real good team, and if we just stay together as a team, then we'll go far.
Coach, you guys have had some scrimmages, some matchups with some other teams so far before the season actually starts here. What have you seen from you guys out there in that environment, and what are you expecting here this Saturday against an impressive Lake Forest team?
So we had 3 scrimmages, all different kind of offenses. Some of them kind of like what we're going to see with Lake Forest. So I think they did prepare us for what we need to see. We've been really excited about Lake Forest. That's our first game, first opportunity we had. So these guys have been very excited this week, ready to play for the first time, make it count. So.
Absolutely. Guys, like I said, you guys had the scrimmages, as Coach mentioned. Now it's time to go. First game of the year, for real, this one counts. You played Lake Forest last year. What kind of challenges do they present? What are you expecting out of them Saturday morning?
They brought back a lot of guys. I feel like we're ready to beat them this year, though.
Honestly, we was holding them back last year. They only scored in the first half. And I believe this year all we got to do is work as a unit and play harder.
I feel as if the chemistry came together. Last year, we didn't really believe in each other as much as we believe in each other now, so now we're ready for the challenge.
Do you want to add to that at all?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what they said, if we stay together as a unit and just keep that chemistry going and don't turn our backs on each other, I feel like we're going to be hard to beat.
Absolutely. Coach, you just heard some few things out of your guys there. Stay together as a unit. If you had to have a key to the game that you want your team to do, maybe just one thing, one or two things that you think will really help you guys get the victory Saturday morning, what would it be?
I would say just stay together, believe in yourself, and I think everything else will take care of itself.
So guys, you heard it there from Coach. Anything you want to add to that? Maybe one or two things, one thing that you know you guys need to do to get the victory, what would it be?
Work a little bit harder and keep knowledge of how we know the field.
I would say our motto, just go heavy.
So you guys want to? Yeah, you guys over here. All right, well, that takes us here to the final question. Again, thanks for joining us here on Wednesday night, Mount Pleasant Green Knights football. So it's game time, Saturday morning, 10:30 kick. You get to the field, you got your headphones on, maybe you're on the bus on the way. What's that one song you're listening to right before the game? You got one song here, warm-up song. What would it be? Coach, goes for you too. What do you think? You want to go first or last year?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm always an Eye of the Tiger kind of guy.
Eye of the Tiger. There we go. That's a good one, Anthony.
My favorite rapper is NBA Youngboy. I like to listen to Untouchable.
There you go, NBA Youngboy. Mason, what do you got?
I would say Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares, always.
Always a good one. Always a good one.
42 Dog, 2 Chainz.
There you go.
Yeah, like my running back said, if not Dreams of Nightmare, I try to just focus in and lock in. Sometimes I keep the music off for a little bit.
There you go. How about that? Sometimes you got to focus, right? There you have it. Mount Pleasant Green Knight football, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody come on here as we send you out. Again, you can check out this game live, 10:30 a.m. kickoff here, Mount Pleasant and Lake Forest, right here on Delaware Live Sports. Guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you
very much, Nick.
All right,
shout out Tobin, shout out Dana.
There you go. We're going to head to break. When we come back, it's the Archmere Ox volleyball team right here on DSL Weekly. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We loved it.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier.
And welcome back to DLS Weekly, live at Buffalo Wild Wings, the Christiana location. Our first episode of the year here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Special thanks to the Mount Pleasant Green Knight football team. And now we are joined by the Archmere Hawks volleyball team. Ladies, thanks for joining us here tonight. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And Jason, a big matchup for you for Archmere this week coming up.
Yeah, girls, you guys have Smyrna tomorrow night on the road. Talk about the atmosphere, first match of the season. What are your expectations going into that match tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think we're all super excited to get started. We've put in a lot of hard work over the off season and then in preseason as well. Smyrna is a really great team. They have great defense, great block, really great offense. So I think we're ready for a good game, and we're just ready to have some fun. So.
Smyrna's a good team, and we know it's going to be a challenge. So we're just ready for whatever they're bringing us, and we're just really excited tomorrow.
Yeah, I think our team has a lot of energy and a lot of talent, and Smyrna will be a tough match, but I'm excited for what we have to bring.
There's definitely those first game nerves, but we're both really talented teams, and I'm really excited for a good game.
And ladies, I'd be a travesty if I let you off the hook. I totally forgot to ask you, we're here at Buffalo Wild Wings, your go-to wing sauce here for your wings. I'm sure you guys have some food coming, or you're about to get some wings tonight, so we go through. What's your go-to wing flavor when you're here at Buffalo Wild Wings?
Sweet barbecue.
Mine is buffalo.
Garlic parmesan.
Mine's garlic parmesan too.
So, and in the buffalo, it's the dry rub, right? Is that?
Yes.
See, there you go.
Dry
a lot
rub.
of people know that. That's actually a good flavor. One of my favorites as well. Yeah. So there you go. So a different team this year, obviously a little bit. It happens every year. But how's the vibe been with this team coming into a new season? And how's the team looking there behind the scenes, in the locker room, out on the practice court?
I think we've put a lot of emphasis on building each other up and encouraging each other, which is super important. We definitely have, the team does look different this year. We have 2 new setters, big shoes to fill from Colleen and Maddie. Colleen, I know you're watching, go Buckeyes. And also we have a transfer, Katie, she's got a great arm and a great swing, so that'll be a big weapon for us. Yeah, like I said before, I think we've just put in a lot of hard work and we're just ready to see the pieces come together. So.
Ladies, want to add?
I think we hold each other accountable this year. If someone makes a mistake, we're really holding each other accountable, and Coach Jerry does a great job with just making sure we are not making the same mistake over and over again. I think that's different from last year.
I think the energy's been great, and it's been a very positive year so far, and we've all been working really hard to make sure that we come into the season very strong.
I think the senior leadership this year is really working hard to set that example for the younger players coming in and really trying to build that positive energy this year.
Absolutely. Girls, you've been practicing since August 15th. Are you just finally glad that you're going to play in the match tomorrow night?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're ready to see all that we can do this season and see how our hard work can pay off. So, yeah.
I'm just excited to prove to Delaware what they didn't get to see from us last year. And we're the underdogs this season, so.
I agree. I think we do have a lot to prove, and last year we lost to Smyrna, and I'm really excited to just be able to have a comeback season.
I think we've definitely had a taste of what this season will be like with the play days, so I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm. And again, before we continue, Coach is here. We give a special shout out to Coach. It's in the house here tonight, checking everything out. So again, he is here not on the camera, but wanted to make sure everybody knows. Coach is enjoying this as well. And you mentioned a different team this year, some different things maybe you worked on during the off season. What was maybe a focal point for each of you individually or as a team that you kind of maybe focused on a little bit more coming in here to 2022?
I think as a team, we really just want to put everything together. So it starts with the pass and then making use of that set and then being smart with your placement in the kill. For me, I'm a middle, so it's definitely not always about that one big kill that looks really great. It's about smart placement and finding the holes and finding the places on the court where the other team can't get to. So.
As a team, I think we worked on working hard and hustling for every ball, no matter where it is, and not being hesitant. For me, as a libero DS, I think I've just been getting better on my defense and serve receive and reading the hitters better. Because Smyrna has a couple great hitters, so.
I think we're also working on being really positive and making sure to give 100% each practice because we never know when it'll be the last time we're stepping on the court. And personally, I'm playing a different position this year, so I kind of just working on adapting and overcoming and just being open to anything.
I think we've been working a lot on bouncing back from mistakes really quickly instead of, digging that hole. And we've also been doing a lot of serve receive because that's something we need to work on.
All right, girls, it's tomorrow night. What can you say to your student body to get them to make the trip down to Smyrna and cheer your girls on tomorrow night?
Wow, I think this is the start of something really big. This is the start of something really special. You don't want to miss that. So.
I think regardless if we had a student section or not, I feel like we just have the energy from our bench. It can help us go a long way in the game tomorrow.
Said bring the noise. Go Hawks!
There you go.
I agree with Jess that it's worth the trip. It's our first game, so show out.
All right, ladies, maybe if I could ask you, what's one word you would use to describe this team here as you head into the season? What would that one word be?
I'd say driven.
Unity.
Optimistic.
Positive.
See, that was a tough question, and boom, shot them all out quick. That was impressive. Well, Jay, it's that part now of the interview where we give the best question. And Jay, you want to give it to him?
All right, tomorrow night warm-ups. You have earbuds on. What are you listening to get you pumped up for the match?
All right, I kind of knew you were going to ask this question. So, honestly, if I'm listening to anything at all, it is actually classical music because if I listen to anything too crazy hype, I'm going to freak out. I need to calm myself down.
Right? There you go.
Yeah. So.
That's what it says. Some Beethoven. What are we thinking there? Right? There you go.
I'm a really energetic person, so I like rap music by NBA Youngboy.
All right, it's our second consecutive NBA Youngboy up here tonight. There we go. You like to hear that?
I'm listening to No Hands.
No Hands. There you go. Specific song title. There we go.
I'm listening to Mona Lisa by Lil Wayne.
All right, so please get there as well. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow night, big matchup, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So make sure you head up to Smyrna to check out that game. Should be a great one tomorrow night. Well, that'll do it for this. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to our Super 7 football rankings here just on the outside of the break. We'll be right back.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon.
Signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life.
Wild Wings DLS Weekly, live from the Christiana location. Special thanks to the Archmere Volleyball team and the Mount Pleasant Green Knight football team. Guys, had some great interviews here for our
Absolutely, yes.
back.
That was great.
All right, now it's time to shift over to football, and let's talk a little rankings, some Super 7s for everyone at home for week number 1. So some shifts here. Let's start with Class 1A. Benny, Glenn, we talked about the defending state champions of Laurel. They improved to 1-0, get a win over a team in an upper class. They are still at the top ranked 7 first place votes for Laurel all across the board.
They haven't skipped a beat since the monsoon at Delaware Stadium. They were at mid-season form Thursday night.
And then you look down the rest, St. Elizabeth's have yet to play. They are coming at the number 2 spot. The team they played last year in that state championship game. Indian River, another team we're eager to see play. They have not yet. They're at 3. Seaford, the 4th spot after that win over Colonel Richardson. Tatnall, Odessa, and Wilmington Charter still looking to get first game action. They round out the top 7. So guys, just quickly here, anything stand out to you at the top 7? Glenn, as you look at it there?
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's pretty much what I expected. I don't think it's going to move too much for the first couple of weeks, and I don't really see anybody outside that 7 that's ready to jump in.
I think single A's, that's the 7 we're going to see this year. I don't see a whole much of a change going on. Maybe late in the season, somebody could squeeze into a 6 or 7.
Yeah, what I like to say is, some of these schools that didn't have big numbers in the past are getting big numbers now that it's 3 classes, and I think that's the one thing that they tried to do with this class. It's good to see Wilmington Charter down there at 7. 83 players come out this year for football.
Wow.
So that's a good turnout for them. And let's say now that they have that many players, a bigger team, can they compete now and maybe rise up in those rankings as the season goes on?
Again, those are the 7 you'll be focused at in Class 1A. Let's jump now to 2A. The Archmere Hawks still looking for their first game action. They're your top spot, followed by St. Mark's, who gets their first victory of the year, winning over the Spartans. They come up from the 4th spot last week. Anybody have anything to say about St. Mark's so far?
I think the unfinished game shook up the AA rankings. It's going to be a fun division, or class to watch. I think there's a lot of parity there. I still think Archmere is the best team. But I think, Howard, who we didn't have ranked last week, came to town and went toe-to-toe with the number 2 ranked team.
Yeah, again, we'll touch on them a little bit later, Glenn. That defense looked incredible for Howard. They controlled the game up front. Defensive line was great. They move up to that 3rd spot right behind St. Mark's. So it goes Archmere, St. Mark's, and Howard here this week.
Yeah, and we're going to have St. Mark's. We'll have them Friday night taking on Red Lion Christian Academy. What do they call it? The graveyard there, buddy?
Graveyard, there it is. Now, after, I think they dubbed it the graveyard after I graduated, but I like it regardless, so we'll stick with it. Okay. But again, that should be a good one. Glenn and Pat will be on the call Friday night for St. Mark's and Red Lion. A game last year, I believe, they came out into the final play, right?
Yeah, missed extra point, right?
Extra point was blocked, and St. Mark's won 21-20. A really back-and-forth game that really kind of changed Red Lion's season. Red Lion moved to that District 3, which I think is one of the toughest districts in the state. And that's a lot of travel. They're going down to Sussex Tech, Woodbridge, Delmar, different years. So it's it's a tough season. So starting against St. Mark's, I think, is a good test of how, what the rest of their schedule looks like.
Absolutely. And then, again, we mentioned Howard Friends gets that 4th spot. DMA falls to 5. Again, that game will be finished at a later date. Delmar 6, Woodbridge 7. So if you look at those, St. Mark's the only team in the top 7 with St. Mark's, DMA, and Howard. At least, I guess, have played a game so far. Anything stand out to you guys in Class 2A?
It's going to be as deep as it was last year, I think. There are a few teams on the outside looking in that can pop in there, obviously. Caravel being one. But we'll see as the next few weeks go on that we get a really good idea what these teams look like.
I think you're going to see a good Lake Forest team Saturday morning. They have a lot of talent coming back. 5-5 last year just kind of doesn't get them over the bubble just yet. But 3 of those losses last year for Lake Forest, they were a play here, a play there from being an 8-2 team.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, and the other team they're playing, Mount Pleasant, had a strong year. Had a better record than a couple of teams that were in the playoffs and missed out. So that's how deep it is, because they take the top 4 from each district. And District 2 and District 3 were stronger last year than District 1.
Right, you had a game where Lake Forest, I think, hung 50 on Newark. Newark got in, Lake Forest didn't. So that might be something they want to address down the road in their playoffs, is maybe only taking the top 2 from each district.
And then do the rest of wild cards based off the points.
Again, you mentioned Lake Forest. Coach, if you're watching, I sent you an email. Send me some info back for this Saturday. All right, now let's take a look to Class 3A. It all starts once again with the defending state champions who sit atop that ranking. It's Middletown receiving all the first place votes here from us this week.
Not a surprise. Of course, they played a national power last week in St. John's down at D.C. I love the name. It's St. John's College High School.
I know there's a
Does
few
that
of
tell
those,
you something?
Right?
Right,
You always
right,
see
right.
those every now and then.
Yeah, Middletown got beat up pretty bad in that game, 42-0. But they still deserve to be number 1. They're the defending state champs until somebody beats them, and they had a lot coming back.
Well, they played and lost. Smyrna was idle, so you know they didn't play in-state loss. Like you said, they played a national power and lost. Smyrna was idle, so not a whole lot you can move them there. Not sure how our voting went. How Hodgson can win 31-0 and not make the top 7. Coach Moffitt, I voted for you. I got you out there, but I mean it was tight. Jason did the numbers, and it was tight between them and Cape. But I think Hodgson's it's going to be a team. They're going to be a tough out down the road.
I know we talked about it. Smyrna comes in at 2. Sussex Central comes in at 3. St. George's 4. Glen Dover 5. Sally's, who played last week on that Thursday to kick off the season, they get the victory. They're at 6. And then Cape coming in at 7, who played Sally's in that opener. What stands out from the rest of the 7?
I think there's still room for a little bit of jostling in that top 7. And last year it was pretty clear cut. It was Smyrna and Middletown 1 and 2 all year long. There's some teams that are going to challenge. I think Sussex Central is much improved. I think St. George's is going to be very good. They've got a lot coming back. They have speed. They've got big size. Quarterback's back, and he can run. So, and Dover, Chip Knapp's going to get them ready. They were still a little bit young on the line, but they have some skilled players. So it's going to be interesting.
Our top 3, they're all going to meet up early. They're going to meet in the first half of the season. Yeah. We got the big Smyrna-Middletown game coming up.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And shortly followed by, I think, week 5 or 6, the Smyrna-Sussex Central game. I think that's at Smyrna this year. So we're going to find out pretty early. We're going to, like Yahtzee, we're going to shake those top 3 up, roll them out, and see what happens.
That's always fun, Jay. It's going to be an exciting year across the board, but here especially in 3A.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 3A is I think, up top is going to be interesting, especially down the stretch. But 8 teams make the playoffs this year. It's a little different. It's the top 3 in each district, and then the next 2 based off of points. So like a team like a William Penn that lost to Sussex Central, they still have time to possibly get it done down the stretch. It's going to be interesting, but like Benny said, I can't wait because the top 3 are all playing each other this year, so it's going to be great to see. I believe Middletown travels down to Sussex Central later in the year.
That's correct.
So that's always a good game too. So I'm looking forward to it.
And Jason, you heard Benny mention Hodgson as a team that's not in our top 7, but maybe sitting outside, he thinks that could make the leap. Is there another team like that for you, maybe that's not in this top 7 here in 3A that you're keeping an eye on?
I want to keep an eye on Appo. They lost a lot from last year. They played a really good St. Mark's team on the road. They didn't know they were playing. Exactly. They had one less week of practice because they originally didn't have a week 0 game, so they couldn't practice until the 15th. They had one last week of practice, and they hung in there with St. Mark's. It'll be interesting to see. They played a tough, District 1 with a lot of good teams in it. But it'd be interesting to see how they progress. I can easily see them maybe sneaking into that bottom half of the top 7 as the season goes on.
There you have it, our Super 7s. We're going to stay right here and keep it moving here on Delaware Live Sports Weekly. Week 1 this week. Last week was week 0. This week is week 1. That's just how it is. Is there any games besides the games that we're going to be broadcasting that we're each doing here as our crews that maybe you're paying attention to as one that you think is going to be a good matchup?
Well, how about tomorrow night? We've got Woodbridge at Cape. And I think we'll have some more questions answered about Cape Henlopen and Woodbridge as well to be their first game. I'm looking forward to that one tomorrow night.
Yeah, Woodbridge, and they lost a ton.
And they didn't have, a lot of, too many guys to begin with. Their roster size-wise, as we saw.
Right. I mean, just losing Wyatt Wright and Matthews. Matthews playing at Kentucky now. Wyatt Wright was, all-state linebacker.
It's tough to replace.
Two big guys to lose. We'll see how they regroup. They got big numbers out. I saw their varsity rosters carrying like 50-some kids.
I'd love to see that. So that's good.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to Delmar. Friends traveling down to Delmar this year. They played twice last year up in Wilmington. Friends won both games, including the quarterfinal game that was 21-20. I think Delmar we have up there and Friends right next to each other in the rankings, so it'll be a good test for both schools. Long trip this year for Friends. They have to go down to Delmar. 7:30 kick on Friday night. I'm looking forward to watching that one.
And how about in 1A, guys, on Saturday, the reverse travel? Seaford comes off to Wilmington to play Tower Hill, and I think that'd be a good indicator to see just how good the Blue Jays are.
Yeah, stepping up in class to play a team that played with the semis last year. Again, another good matchup.
So there's some good ones, and remember, we're each going to have some good games of our own to be broadcasting this week as well. Again, Jason and I might be Saturday morning. We have Mount Pleasant and Lake Forest. Glenn Friday night with St. Mark's.
Red Line and St. Mark's. And, of course, Benny on Friday night.
Louisiana with Sussex Central.
That's our game in a week.
So I guess 3 this week, right? We're going to be able to calm down a little bit, bring it to 3. So that'll be a good thing for everyone. You can check out all those games on Delaware Live Sports on our YouTube page. Benny, we've got some players of the week. Our performers of the week are back here in 2022. Coaches, ADs, we'd really appreciate it if you could send us some stats, information, nominate your athletes each week. So here are the top performers this week. And Benny, it started with Sally's and Sussex Central on that Thursday night with Marquis James.
Marquis James, he came on late last year. I knew this kid was going to be somebody this year. He can run and catch. I think he had close to 200, over 200 combined, and he had a touchdown.
120 and 122 yards.
Right, so about 220. And he caught a touchdown pass, and he ran for a touchdown. And he's a stud linebacker on the defense. Watch out for this kid down the road. He's going to have to fill a spot. Cape lost one of the linebackers, Bren Scott, Friday night to a broken collarbone, so he's going to have to have a little bit of Scott in him down the stretch.
Again, after that game, that was the name you were reading about. That was the name you were seeing after that matchup with Sally. He's definitely someone to pay attention to going forward. Another player or performer of the week, Glenn, was Caden Shockley from Laurel. 7 carries, 104 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. What did you see from him?
Caden Shockley just had a special night for Laurel, and he did a great job. Benny, you called the game. You had the play-by-play, and your thoughts on Caden Shockley?
Well, first of all, he found somebody gave him the key to the weight room over the summer because last year he was a little smaller in stature. This year I go out to a couple of scrimmages, a couple of practices. The kid's built like a linebacker, and he plays linebacker. But he reminds me of I don't know if you remember Benny Hendrickson from William Penn back in the 80s. The big 190-pound quarterback they had.
Was he born?
No, he wasn't. But he was also a big-time wrestler, so St. Mark's guys should know that.
That's right. St. Mark's, I got the painting hanging in my basement, right?
Right.
And then, Benny, you stay with me here, because then our third performer of the week, Jazante Lovan, somebody you touched on earlier in the program, 187 yards rushing, 73-yard touchdown run included. Talk a little bit about that performance.
First of all, the blocking of Seaford, when you say set the edge, they set the edge. They got that first block on the end of the line of scrimmage, tossed to Lovan, and he was all alone. He may have had to turn on his Google Maps to get to the end zone. He was like nobody within 10 yards of him running in. He had other big runs in that game that were called back. One was a blindside block. He didn't know. It was way far away from the play. And then he had a second one. He's got that track speed. If you see a defender with an angle on him, he just puts it into the next gear and takes off. He is, like I said earlier, he is a guy to watch in Class A this year.
And again, rounding out our performers of the week, this is what I wanted to touch on. McCain quarterback McKeevis Rogers, 15 carries, 114 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground, 4 2-point conversions. Then through the air, 10 of 19, 273 yards, and 4 touchdowns, while also leading the game-winning drive, throwing the go-ahead touchdown with 38 seconds left. Those numbers are off the charts. McCain's somebody you don't talk about usually year in and year out. Already getting some headlines here with Rodgers at the quarterback position. We're going to be talking about McCain this year?
Yeah, let me just say something about McCain, if I will. That's the early feel-good story of the year because A.I. DuPont decided they're not going to play varsity. Those seniors were not going to have a varsity season. They petitioned the DIAA to get a waiver for those seniors to play at McCain. It's going to happen. I'm not sure they all didn't already play at Polytech, but it's going to happen. DIAA's on it quick, and I think that's great for those seniors, Nick.
Absolutely. I mean, great story here that they get to go play McCain. Again, they're 1-0 now on the season, and interesting enough, a good matchup for them this week. They get Odessa, who was good last year, coming in and got some young teams. I think McCain-Odessa could be an under-the-radar game this week.
That was Odessa's first win last year over McCain.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly right. So that rounds out our performers of the week, and now it's time for everybody's favorite segment as we round out the show here tonight. It is our top plays of the week, and we're all going to be checking this out. So let's start with number 10 on your screen right now. Week 0 should have some good ones. You've already heard ad nauseum some touchdown runs, some deep ones. Let's see what we got here at number 10. London Bright from Hodson, 88 yards, just shy of the end zone. Brought to you by BSN Sports. So here he is, here going to take the handoff, or fake the handoff, look for somewhere to go, able to get to the hole, get to the sideline, showing off the speed right there to the 30, to the 20, but check out the rundown brought down to the end zone.
Who's player of the week there? The CR Rider that runs him down, or what?
Here's R.J. Matthews and Kevin Ford had a chance to check this one out up close and personal. The only score of the ball game up top here on the wide receiver screen. Ford able to make a defender miss into the end zone. Howard impressive on both sides of the ball, especially defensively. But R.J. Matthews back for another year.
And there's our Mike Lang in the end zone getting some video.
Joseph Kovaleski to Marquis James. We talked about Marquis James already on the program. Here's Kovaleski, avoids the sack. He's going to look for him. He did it on the ground and through the air here, able to make the catch. Receiving, rushing, James, one of the performers of the week. He did it all.
Thread the needle there. Great throw to the back of the end zone.
Patrick Henry, Sussex Central. Check out the cutback here. What a nice camera angle here at William Penn. The toss, able to cut it back, sees the hole. Look at the vision. Makes a few defenders miss and into the end zone. Sussex Central team to watch out for this year, Betty.
Absolutely, and we're going to see them Friday night with the South.
Getting their debut. Now here's Seaford and Laurel going to get started here at number 6. Benny, what'd you see on this one?
This kid had 2 touchdowns like this. He has, same thing, cutback ability. He stays low to the ground, and he's hard to bring down.
Defenders just falling off him like Marshawn Lynch, and then Laurel Sussex Tech. Here we go again.
And Kylie Wilson spinning out of the foot tackle, finding the end zone.
Having another great year for Laurel, defending state champ, starting off the right way. Here's Patrick Henry again, Glenn, here at number 5.
Yeah, P.J. Henry. Punting from the end zone, William Penn, so it was a short field, but once he gets it, it makes a couple people miss, and he's gone.
To the outside sideline. How about this move here? Propels himself into the end zone. Looked a little not great there, able to find it still.
Good camera work by Nick Halliday.
Here's Nick Strasowski here for Sally's. Cape Penlopen and Salesianum. Nice camera angle here. And Jay, he just might do something with this one.
Yeah, I mean, he found the hole. He showed off the speed. And there he's trying to get chased down, but he just makes it into the end zone. And that was a big score right before half to make it
17 seconds left on that
How
kicker.
about that, Sally's? And here he is, Jasante Lovan from Seaford. Benny, up close and personal. Here you go.
There's your 66 with that key block on the end we talked about.
Seal it.
And right now, goodbye. Look, 2 guys on the angle.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that.
That's track speed, baby.
Oh, yeah, you can't teach that. I think I saw a little cheetah, a little Tyreek Hill peace sign there at the end as he gets into the end zone. Remember that name, as Benny said, Jasante Lovan. Now let's go to Rogers to Ramirez. Here's McCain, Glenn. Hopefully you see a lot more of this here out of McCain this season.
Good pass downfield. And look at that over-the-shoulder grab.
Dropped it in the bucket. There we go, down the sideline.
Love
What a
the
day
coach
for the
directing
team.
traffic like a third base coach down there. Right?
And here we go, Mark Moore to White Taylor, 78 yards. This is your top play of the week. William Penn and Sussex Central going to air this one out deep, gets past the secondary, makes the catch at the 35. Looks like he could be brought down, but there he goes, turns on the Jets. Nobody touches him into the end zone.
They missed on that on the earlier series. They didn't miss that time.
This is what's going to make William Penn a team you can't sleep on week in and week out. That kind of athletic ability.
Again, they've got the opportunity for the big plays. We'll keep an eye on them as they're now just sitting outside that top 7 here this week. Don't forget, you can find more news, notes, and updates on the website every day. Just visit DelawareLiveSports.com, and you can join our website to stay up on everything Delaware High School sports. I'd like to thank you everyone for tuning in this week. Thanks to Mount Pleasant, the Green Knights, the Archmere Volleyball program for a fantastic show and our debut back here in 2022 at Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll be at Dover next Wednesday, so make sure, again, you
Battle of the Bell.
There we go, Battle of the Bell. Again, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We've got some great weekends coming up here as well. But before we say goodbye, our final thoughts here on week 0 as we head into week 1 can be about anything. Jason, anything on your mind here as we wrap up our first show?
Volleyball fans, tune in tomorrow night, our first volleyball match of the year. We're going down state a little bit into the Smyrna. What I'm proud of this year is Mike and I are getting 3 to 4 downstate volleyball teams on our schedule this year, and we look forward to bringing you Archmere Smyrna tomorrow night.
And again, we miss Pat and Mike here today to take care of Goldie Beacom business at the soccer game tonight. So again, we miss them, but they'll be back with us here next Wednesday, we believe, barring anything else. Benny, final thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm going to address the elephant in the room in Delaware football for this week. And that's, we love the people watching the games. We love fans coming to the stadiums, but a game should never be forfeited for something that happened outside of the lines. Folks, come to the games. Let these kids play football.
Couldn't agree more.
Just a couple of Delawareans in college. Wayne Knight from Smyrna, his freshman year at James Madison. He had a 14-yard reception in their first game. University of Maryland, Dante Trader from Del Mar got a solo tackle in the Terps game. And down in South Carolina, Debo Williams from Smyrna, special teamer last year. He got to play defense in the opening game this year. He had 5 tackles and a tackle for loss. So congratulations to those guys. If anybody out there knows of other Delaware college players that are doing well, let us know.
How about Nolan Henderson?
Check him out. That you led me right to it. Big win. First win over an FBS program since 2007. Way to start off the Ryan Carty era with the University of Delaware this Saturday. First home game of the year. Benny,
be there.
I'll see you there. We'll be there again. Del State at Delaware.
We tailgate in front of the old field house, baby.
That's right, baby. It's going to be a good one. If you're free, make sure you get out fireworks after the game this Saturday. So it should be.
Let's hope there's some fireworks in the game.
Exactly. You'll be able to see a lot of Delaware faces. The Hornets, they've got a bunch on their side of the ball. Delaware has a few themselves. James Collins from Mount Pleasant.
Two former Delaware Gatorade Players of the Year starting at quarterback.
How about that?
C.J. Henry at Del State. Nolan Henderson's turn.
How about that? That's going to be a good one. So remember, you can catch all of our games again Saturday morning. Mount Pleasant taking on Lake Forest. Glenn.
St. Mark's hosting Red Lion, and Benny Friday night has the first state ortho game of the week.
In the Castle, Sussex Central hosts Louisiana.
So we've got some good ones, 3 good ones coming at you. Make sure you tune in. We really appreciate, again, everyone tuning into the show tonight. We are back. We'll see you next Wednesday at the Dover Buffalo Wild Wings. That's it for this week's edition of DLS Weekly. We'll see you then.
Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state,